Good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike the Baldadonis. Welcome to episode number 4 of I Bought a Mini Cooper. As you can see, I finally got it back. All right, it's been a long winter, guys. I bought the car back in January 15th. I was online, on Craigslist, bored out of my mind. I have a new YouTube channel, and I got to do something with it. Cars, I buy and sell as a hobby. I would have bought in this car maybe anyways, because I'm a BMW Mini Cooper guy. These cars have a lot of issues, like a lot of issues. That's like your little high-end girlfriend that's always a pain in the ass. You gotta buy her stuff, you gotta dress her up, you know what I mean? You might get a little something later, but no, you always gotta pay for something. So with this car, I bought it from a gentleman named Phil. I went all the way down to Norwood, Mass. About a 40-minute ride. Had nothing to do. Patriots was until the next week in the playoffs. So I went down, checked out the car. It was so cold, 7 degrees. I didn't have my main man for my second eyes, Peter. So I went down there. Didn't look nothing like that. That cleaned up very nicely. The reason why I bought the car, because of the service history. This is what you guys have to do when you're looking for certain cars. Mini Coopers have a lot of known issues, like a clutch. They go every 50,000 miles or so, depending on how you drive. That was replaced at a price of $1,500, only 1,500 miles prior. So let's get a brand new clutch in it. The engine, a lot of service. The supercharger was service. You have to take the supercharger off, put oil in there before it blows up, pretty much. You know, after around 100,000 miles, there's very little fluid in that supercharger. And once that disintegrates, so this is the blower of the supercharger. So here is just a bunch of stuff that was done, but I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But he spent about $4,500. The tires, brand new at $425. The engine, he had to put a camshaft, all the camshaft accessories that go with that. Water pump, he put a pulley in there that reduces or speeds up the supercharger so you get a little bit more horsepower. They normally run around 168 horsepower. With that pulley, it's probably around 190. So it's a little bit more peppy. What else? You know, the brakes he did at a cost around $400. They're all high-performance brake pads and rotors. And he did stainless steel lines. He did AC. There was a leak in the AC somewhere, so they traced that down. It was a line that runs throughout the body. So that was a pain in the ass. That was a few $100s just for that. So Phil spent over $4,400 into the car, you know, and I was like, I'll take it. I was bored, bought the car. I would have bought the car. I was probably looking for a John Cooper Works version, but because of my new hobby, YouTube, I wanted to do like some of the other YouTubers do. They buy cars, they fix it, you know, and then they take a loss. Well, I'm not going to take a loss. I buy cars to make some money. I hope I do. So I bought the car, and I have several friends that help me out. You saw the first episode, buying a Mini Cooper. I did that episode. Part 2 was, I have a friend named Chris. He did my wheels. They look brand new. All 4 wheels were all curb rashed, and he fixed all 4. He comes right to my house, has a little a truck. He does everything inside. Does it right here. Fresh paint. Nice. Brand new. What else? So I want to thank Chris for that. Now, this is a crazy winter here in New England this year. We had snowstorm after snowstorm, and then we hit like 75 degrees. Then snowstorm, a blizzard, snowstorm. It's just a crazy winter. So I only had the car for about 4 weeks in my possession after having the tires or the wheels done. So I gave the car to my friend Steve. You may know Steve in some of my other videos. You don't see him, you hear his voice in rare Mustangs or Cobras. So look back in some of my videos, some of my car videos with the Mustangs, you hear his voice. He does custom work. So the shifter had a problem. I couldn't get into gear. And I wanted to upgrade the stereo system because why not? 2 of the speakers were blown. No, the front 2 speakers and the tweeters were blown. The stereo was fine. The back speakers were fine, but you know, why not? So I put a head unit in there, Kenwood. I get the Bluetooth, all that stuff. You know I don't use that stuff, but I get a Kenwood, front speakers, front tweeters, amp, and a subwoofer in the trunk. So that thing pounds pretty good. It's conservative, it's not crazy, but for a little car, it sounds really, really nice. So he had that for 4 weeks. 4 weeks because of the snowstorms. And I told him, take your time, it's a crazy winter. So I get the car back right before another snowstorm. I park the car in the garage, snowstorm passes, I take the car out about a week later, charge the battery. I look on the floor, there's a leak. Now I already had a leak. I asked him if he can see if there's any leaks with the motor. He said the oil pan was loose, so he screwed it up, should be no problem. And when he sprayed down all the transmission, not the cables, but anyways, the shifter, where he lubed it all up, made a mess. All right, I get home, bring it out. I saw oil all over the place. Call him up. He's not giving me any answers. Now I have a weird smell. Now, you guys know I have chemical sensitivities if you follow my YouTube channel. Everything bothers me. Exhaust systems, VOCs, no matter what it is, I get vertigo from chemical smells. That car gives me a nasty headache. So this car's gonna be sold soon. It looks great, but there's a smell in the interior that gives me a nasty headache, and then I get vertigo. So as I smell something burning, my friend happened to come down to pick up his generator. Guido, that's his nickname, his name is Peter. We had power outage here. So Guido let me use his generator, which unfortunately seized up as well. So I feel even worse, right? So I asked him to take the car, to take a look at it. So take your time, we're having a crazy winter. He takes my car to his house. Yeah, you get a few things going on. I'm like, okay, what's up? So one of the oil leaks that I have is the oil filter housing O-ring. It's not a difficult job. It's very tight. It's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. That's what it comes down to. I buy cars to sell it, to make a profit. So some things can be left alone. I will tell that to the new owner. Other things this car needs, lower control arm bushings. Drives fine, there's a little wiggle, but the bushings are worn out. That's another thing that you have to address. Other than that, the car's good to go. So while the car was on the lift at Peter's house, the smell came back and it was driving him crazy as well. To find out just a little bit of seepage of antifreeze was dropping onto the transmission. It was giving this weird smell. So he finally figured out what it was. Great. So I had to get a thermostat housing, a sending unit, and a little pipe, a little line with a pipe in it, and no problem. I'll go get that. He wanted the car out the next day. He was gonna put it all together. I got the parts. I actually want to give a special thanks to Tim and Becky, or Becca, I think it's Becky. Tim and Becky at Peabody Mini Cooper. I called them up. I said, hey, Tim, can you get this part for me? He's like, no, there's nothing around. So I call him back. I said, what can you do? He's like, I can definitely help you out. He goes, there's a part in Virginia. I'll ship it up next day. I'm like, okay, great. For a couple of bucks, no problem. This little piece, this tube, is $100 retail. And add $10, $110. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I do get dealers' costs. I have friends that own dealerships, so end up being 55 bucks, something like that, $60 total. I got that, bring everything to Guido's house. Great, we're gonna put it all together. All stopped because a little tiny O-ring, little tiny baby O-ring, stopped the whole production. Now, somebody had messed with this car before. In that old pipe, somebody put a screw with a washer to hold the O-ring in. Now, Guido didn't know that. He just said, hey, get the pipe with the screw in the washer. So I'm talking to everybody. They're like, that doesn't come with it. So a little tiny washer held up production another week. We got a O-ring, put it in. I don't have the smell anymore. I washed it, detailed it today. It's ready to get sold. So I want to thank Guido the most out of all these people, because for 22 plus years, he's been helping me with all my vehicles. I buy rat rides, air-cooled VWs, some things that I pull out of places. He's like, what are you gonna do with that? I give it to him. He helps me out. He buys cars, I go with him. We usually buy cars together. On this day, we did not. If he was there, I might have not bought in the car, but you know, it's for YouTube. I wanted to do something to get my channel going, and the car's all set. So I want to thank everybody that helped me out, and until the next video or into the next car that I buy, Baldadonis out.